sometimes Marissa or Ruth will ask a question and I won't know the answer, and I'll be like, oh, let me check that. Check the DMP, and it usually has an answer, but otherwise I haven't used it too much since it's been created. But it's nice at least having like a base or a starting point to start with and know, like, okay, great. It like forced us to have all these conversations in the beginning and like hammer down, okay, these are the important things. This is what we're doing here, moving forward. And I would say we've definitely done some of those things. So it's good in that way, and like to hold you accountable.
So the first building that went was just building like a broad research data management plan for any project. So that stage was actually quite fulfilling. We had that. And after that, we got to start a new project. And so it was now taking that huge research data management plan and just like modify it to suit the project we're working on. And that was a really great process, I have to say.
So thankfully, building the data management plan for our projects was remarkably easy. We were unsure what it was going to take to do an umbrella plan across the huge range of projects that we do, and whether we'd be able to say anything useful in an umbrella plan, or whether it would be so specific for each individual project that there would be very little value. And what we found was actually there was a lot that was common across the projects. There was a lot that we could make one decision about and then replicate again and again across all of our projects. And so just the process of asking the questions and going through it allowed us to build something that we have found infinitely useful across a lot of different projects.
It made me think more about the project beyond what I would have at that stage if I wasn't using a data management plan. And it made me think about questions such as like, where will the data be stored? Because we tend to not worry too much about those at the beginning stages. Because we're like, oh, but we just need to have the data. And then once we get there, we're going to deal with the rest. But we had to think about that earlier on, where will the data be stored?
It's different from how I used to do it in the past. In the past, I took certain things for granted. I didn't know that even this thing that we made has to be documented. I thought like once you made this, then you know what to do. Then it is it. You put it in your brain and then that's it. But like writing it down and documenting it like help.
We learn as we go in a way, because like you said, like it helps to do this from the outset, right? And I think this has been a blessing in the sense like our project is only beginning to collect data, and so now we can collect primary data. We have a bit of secondary data, but like now we can really work our way through the intricacies of getting data organized.
In the past, having worked with a bigger group like this, it has only been an individual research. So this whole documentation process now and in the past are completely different. But this has actually put me in a very wider perspective, like how to approach research, whether it's at a smaller level or at a bigger level.
Without this initiative, we will still be doing data management and working on data, but I think we may have pushed it a bit further away and not get to it right now. But now we have it, and I think we're very confident of our strategies now.
I like the idea of it being a living document for something especially as grand as the Family Friendly Community Resource Project, where, like I said, the crime data that Carly's bringing in from Toronto is again just one additional layer. And so as we start to branch out and bring in more data from other outlets, and as we discover those other outlets, we're going to have to modify that plan. And so it's really good to, and the lessons I've learned of having the standard language and having everything sort of in place so that when we do come across that, it's not like starting over, right? It's again, just adding another layer.
So doing the DMP, whether it's a new project or an old project, is something that folks should be doing so that they can just be aware of the types of practices that should be put in place and just really have those hard conversations, or, just be brought on by different considerations.
This series is brought to you by Spark, a Center for Social Research Innovation.